this Yamaha Grizzly here in the background, and my friend brought it to me to have me work on a couple things. So the first thing is that the brakes, the rear brakes are not working. So he thought it was the brake cable, but actually I think it has something to do within the sealed brake unit in the rear end and the rear differential. Alright, so as you can see, when I pull the brake cable itself is going in all the way. The brake cable's not stretched. But what happens is this is our problem. Something internal into the transmission, so I'm gonna have to end up taking this out and taking out the rear end and see if I can get in there and see what's going on. Alright, the axles seem to be pretty good. Doesn't look like any damage on either side. This boot's a little suspect. Maybe there might be an issue there. I'll have to check it. I've got the wheels off and I've got it draining the oil. Next we're going to try to get the axles out and get that rear end out. Alright, now I took this bolt out here out of the top of the knuckle. The top of the control arm out of the top of the knuckle. I took this nut off the shaft right here, the axle shaft. Some trees back there and stuff. And now I'm going to fold this down and push this guy in. And fold that down out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this drive shaft. I'm going to go in with it and out. And it'll pop loose. And then you can sit it aside. Alright, now this axle barely wants to move. It binds up real hard. This guy's bad. Alright, so now what I did was I took the two brake lines out of here. There's two pins with cotter pins on the back side. You pull the cotter pins out, you just pop out the pins, and then the brake lines slide out of here. And then there's a sensor that goes in here. I just tucked them out all the way, and I marked one with a blue piece of tape so I know which one goes where. And now I've got a bolt down there, a bolt back here, and a bolt up here. I've already taken all three out. Now I'm going to try to get this unit to go backwards to unhook the drive shaft. And then I'm going to try to go down and out. I believe it's going to come out the bottom. We'll see. I'll probably have to maneuver it through there and see if I can't get it on the bench. Alright, now that I got it on the bench, this guy's the hard part. You got to get this guy disengaged. It comes out the motor easier, but then you got to get it disengaged out of this before you can get it out the chassis. Then once you get it out the chassis, it falls right down out the bottom into this big hole. I had to take out this bolt over here to get this bolt that comes across out here through here. So I had to take out that bolt and just push down on this. And I was able to get that bolt out. And then once you get the shaft out of the motor, the rear end will slide back and tilt forward and fall out throughout that hole. I took off the shock mount here just to help me with this so I can move it around. So I took out those two bolts and I was able to get the unit out. Now it's on the bench and I'm going to start to get it apart. The first thing I'm going to do is pull off this cover right here. All these bolts around the perimeter. I'm going to pull off this bolt to get this lever off. And see if I can't get into here to see if the shaft or anything is damaged in here before I go deeper into the front, which will be these bolts that I have to take off to get into the front and disassemble the unit to be able to get to the inside. So hopefully this right here is what's going to show me what's going on in there. Alright, so now I got it out on the bench. Didn't come out too bad. Pops right out. Once you get everything unbolted, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt the side cover. Alright, so I got this back together. Didn't find anything wrong inside. It actually looked like Dad actually rebuilt it recently. And I feel like this was the problem here. They had this out of adjustment. Whoever put this on, you can put it on like this, you can put it on like this, and it wasn't pulling the lever far enough to activate the brakes or the switch. And I think it was having a starting problem because of that, and the brakes weren't working, because everything inside is fine and it feels good. So once I get it back in, I'm gonna put this on and clock it inside the bike itself to get the brake cables set up properly with the switch to make everything work correctly. Alright, so I finally got it set up right. It was this arm that was adjusted wrong. I had to adjust this spring some. Might have to adjust it some more once I turn on the bike. These two right here, I pulled all the slack out of their end. I angled this, so now I got full brake. There's no slack here now. And I adjusted them up here. So now I have nice brakes there. And I also adjusted them in here. That's the rear brake. I also have nice brakes there. Nothing's dragging. I have a little play in the system, so everything should be good. And I got everything set up right there besides adjusting the brake light switch. And now I'm going to put a set of new axles in the back and do some maintenance. The original axles were a little suspect, so I figure might as well get it upgraded. Alright, I got the new axles in there. They seem much better. They bend a lot more. I guess they're 6 balls instead of, I guess, what comes with a 4. So they have much more articulation. Come with new nuts. Got the new nuts on there. Don't forget to punch in the slot right there so it can't come loose on both sides. And that's pretty much it. All I got to is left to do is put the wheels on and put fluid in there, and the back's done.